Aiko Tanaka stood alone in the chaotic swirl of Westview High's cafeteria, her bento box open, a small piece of home in a foreign land. Then with a cruel laugh, Chad Kessler, the school's untouchable bully, dumped a tray of greasy leftovers right on her head. Sauce dripped down her face and the crowd roared with laughter. But Aiko's eyes burned with a fire nobody expected. What she did next turned the tables, literally, and left the whole school stunned. If you love your mom and dad, hit that subscribe button and show some love to Aiko's epic comeback. Aiko Tanaka's sneakers squeaked on the polished floor of Chicago's O'Hare Airport as she dragged her suitcase through the bustling terminal. At 16, she left her quiet neighborhood in Osaka, Japan, for a year as an exchange student in America, chasing dreams of adventure and independence. Her host family, the Johnsons, Lisa, a cheerful nurse, and Tom, a high school history teacher, welcomed her with a warm hug and a homemade apple pie that smelled like cinnamon and hope. Aiko's heart fluttered with excitement, but a knot of nerves tightened in her stomach. She'd watched enough American teen movies to know high school could be a battlefield of cliques, drama, and cruelty. Her English, practiced diligently with tutors back home, felt stiff and unnatural. Still, she told herself she was ready to face Westview High. She wasn't. On her first day, Aiko navigated the crowded halls, clutching her class schedule like a lifeline. Her simple blue sweater and jeans, chosen to blend in, did little to hide her petite frame, jet black hair, and almond-shaped eyes that drew curious stares. By second period, a group of girls in sparkly lip gloss had already whispered, "Sushi girl," as she passed. Aiko ignored them, focusing on her goal. Survive the day, make a friend, maybe even fit in. Lunchtime, however, shattered that hope. She found a corner table in the cafeteria, a sprawling room buzzing with noise, and the smell of pizza and fries. Aiko unpacked her bento box, neatly arranged rice, tamagoyaki, pickled radish, and a small piece of grilled salmon, a comforting taste of home her mother had taught her to make. She was about to take her first bite when a shadow fell over her table. Chad Kessler, Westview's undisputed king of cruelty, loomed above her. At 6'2", with a quarterback's build and a smirk that radiated arrogance, Chad was a senior who ruled the school through fear. His crew, Dylan, a wiry kid with a mean laugh, Mike, a hulking linebacker, and Brittany, a cheerleader with a venomous smile, flanked him like loyal henchmen. "Yo, what's that, dog food?" Chad sneered, pointing at her bento. The nearby tables snickered. Aiko's cheeks flushed, but she kept her head down, willing them to move on. They didn't. Brittany leaned in, her perfume cloying, and flicked a piece of Aiko's rice onto the floor. "Gross," she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. The laughter grew. Chad, feeding off the crowd, grabbed his tray of half-eaten pizza and soggy fries and dumped it onto Aiko's lap. Sauce splattered her sweater, grease soaking into her jeans. The cafeteria erupted in cheers and jeers. Aiko's hands trembled, tears stinging her eyes, but she refused to cry. She stood, grabbed her bag, and walked out, the weight of every stare burning into her back. That night, Aiko sat in her room at the Johnsons' house, staring at the stained sweater she hadn't been able to wash clean. Lisa knocked softly, noticing Aiko's silence at dinner. "Rough first day, huh?" she asked, sitting on the bed. Aiko nodded, her throat tight. She couldn't find the words to explain the humiliation, the way the laughter had echoed in her ears all day. Lisa hugged her, her voice gentle but firm. "You're stronger than you know, kiddo. Don't let them dim your light." Aiko managed a small smile, but inside she felt small, powerless. As she lay awake, she thought of her grandfather, Hiroshi, a judo sensei back in Osaka. He'd taught her judo since she was 6, guiding her through katas and throws in his small dojo. "Judo isn't just about strength," he told her, his voice steady as stone. "It's about balance, control, and using your opponent's force against them." Aiko hadn't practiced in months, too busy preparing for her exchange year, but his words stirred something deep within her. She wasn't a victim. She wouldn't be. The next morning, Aiko returned to Westview with a quiet resolve. She avoided the cafeteria, eating her lunch in the library's quiet corner, but Chad's crew seemed to have a radar for her. In the hallway, Dylan shoved her shoulder, knocking her books to the floor. "Where's your dog food today, exchange girl?" he taunted. Aiko stumbled but caught herself, her judo instincts twitching. She didn't react, not yet. She needed to understand her enemy first. Over the next 2 weeks, Aiko became a silent observer. She watched Chad's every move, how he targeted anyone who seemed weak, how his temper flared when challenged, how he relied on his size rather than skill. She learned his crew's dynamics. Dylan was the instigator, Mike the muscle, Brittany the manipulator. Aiko also made a friend, Mia, a shy sophomore with glasses and a quick wit, who'd been Brittany's target for months. Over vending machine snacks in the library, Mia shared Chad's history, suspended twice for fights, a wrestling star who bragged about his takedowns, and a reputation for being untouchable because his dad was a school board member. "He's a nightmare," Mia whispered. "No one stands up to him." Aiko's eyes narrowed. "Someone will." 3 weeks into the semester, the cafeteria became a battleground again. Aiko sat alone, her bento open, her posture calm but alert. She'd chosen her spot deliberately, near the center where everyone could see. Chad and his crew approached, their laughter cutting through the cafeteria's din. "Back for more, sushi girl," Chad mocked, snatching her tamagoyaki and tossing it to Dylan. The egg hit the floor with a wet splat. The crowd hushed, sensing a showdown. Aiko stood slowly, her voice low but clear. "Pick it up." The words hung in the air. Chad laughed, stepping closer, his bulk intimidating. "Or what, shorty?" Aiko's dark eyes locked onto his, unflinching. "Pick it up." The crowd held its breath. Chad's face twisted with rage and he lunged, aiming to shove her into the table. In one fluid motion, Aiko sidestepped, grabbed his arm, and executed a perfect osotogari, a judo throw she'd practiced 1,000 times. Chad's massive frame flipped through the air, crashing onto the lunch table with a thunderous crack. Plates shattered, trays clattered, and Chad lay sprawled, stunned, as soda cans rolled to the floor. The cafeteria exploded in gas, then cheers. Dylan and Mike rushed forward, but Aiko's stance, low, balanced, ready, stopped them cold. Brittany screamed, "You're dead, freak!" but backed off when Aiko's gaze met hers, steady and unyielding. The principal, Mr. Hargrove, a stern man with a buzz cut, stormed in, demanding answers. Chad, red-faced and scrambling to his feet, pointed at Aiko. "She attacked me." But Mia, who'd been filming the whole thing on her phone, stepped forward. "He started it. She just defended herself." The video, shaky but clear, showed Chad's aggression and Aiko's precise counter. It spread across the school faster than gossip. Aiko braced for punishment, expecting suspension or worse. But Westview's zero-tolerance policy on bullying worked in her favor. Chad, with his documented history of trouble, got a week's suspension and a ban from the next football game. Aiko received a warning and a private meeting with Mr. Hargrove, who looked at her with a mix of curiosity and respect. "You've got guts, kid," he said, "but keep it clean from now on." Overnight, Aiko became a legend. Students who'd ignored her now high-fived her in the halls. Mia dubbed her Judo Queen, and the nickname stuck. Aiko's confidence grew. She spoke up in class, her English sharper, her smile brighter. She started a self-defense club, teaching judo basics to kids like Mia who'd been bullied. The club grew fast, drawing even some of Chad's former followers, who were tired of his reign. Aiko found a rhythm at Westview, balancing schoolwork, her host family's warmth, and her new friends. But the peace didn't last. Chad returned from suspension, his ego bruised and his eyes burning with vengeance. He didn't confront Aiko directly at first, instead spreading rumors that she was a violent foreigner who'd attacked him unprovoked. Some students believed him, and Aiko felt the shift. Whispers in the halls, cold stares from teachers. Then one afternoon in the parking lot after school, Chad cornered her. His crew blocked her path, and a small crowd gathered, sensing trouble. "You got lucky, sushi girl," Chad growled, cracking his knuckles. Aiko's heart raced, but her grandfather's voice echoed in her mind. "Control the fight, not the fear." "Walk away, Chad," she said calmly. "You don't want this." He swung a fist, fast and heavy. Aiko ducked, her body moving on instinct, and used his momentum to execute another throw, this time a harai goshi, flipping him onto the pavement with a thud. The crowd roared, some filming, others cheering. Chad groaned, his pride shattered again. But the real blow came later. Brittany, who'd been filming the parking lot incident, didn't post it to help Chad. Instead, she sent the cafeteria video, the one Mia had recorded, to a local news station, Channel 7, with a twisted narrative. She claimed Aiko was a dangerous outsider who'd attacked an innocent student. The news ran the story, editing the clip to make Aiko look like the aggressor. The backlash was swift and brutal. Parents called for Aiko's expulsion, citing safety concerns. Slurs like, "Go back to your country," appeared in red paint on her locker. Aiko's confidence wavered. She felt like she'd failed the Johnsons, who'd welcomed her so warmly. Lisa, sensing her despair, refused to let it slide. She dug into Brittany's motives, talking to Mia and other students, and uncovered a bombshell. Brittany had a crush on Chad and had orchestrated the cafeteria stunt to win him back from his ex-girlfriend Sarah, who dumped him for his bullying. Brittany had hoped framing Aiko would make her Chad's hero. Lisa tipped off Channel 7, who ran a follow-up story exposing Brittany's lies and including interviews with students who'd been bullied by Chad. The full cafeteria video posted online by Mia went viral, showing Aiko's restraint and Chad's aggression. Public opinion swung back in Aiko's favor. The school board issued a formal apology, cleared her name, and suspended Brittany for her role in the smear campaign. The tide had turned, but Aiko faced new challenges. Some teachers remained wary, docking her grades for minor infractions. A group of parents, still skeptical, petitioned to disband her self-defense club, calling it violent. Aiko didn't back down. She organized a community event, inviting families to see what her club was about. Empowerment, not aggression. She demonstrated judo techniques, showing how they taught discipline and confidence. Mia and other club members shared stories of how Aiko's lessons had helped them stand up to bullies without fighting. The event was a success, with even some skeptical parents clapping by the end. Aiko's club was saved, and Westview began to change. Bullying reports dropped, and a new peer mediation program, inspired by Aiko, took root. In the spring, Westview's talent show became Aiko's stage. Her self-defense club performed a judo demonstration, choreographed to music, showcasing throws and holds with precision and grace. The crowd gave a standing ovation, and Aiko felt a surge of pride. Chad, now a shadow of his former self, watched from the back, his crew scattered, his influence gone. After the show, he approached Aiko, head bowed. "I'm sorry," he muttered, barely audible. Aiko studied him, seeing not the bully but a kid who'd lost his way. "Learn from it," she said simply, no gloating needed. She'd won not by breaking him, but by rising above. As her exchange year ended, Aiko prepared to return to Osaka. Her last day at Westview was bittersweet. Hugs from Mia, a scrapbook from her club, and a tearful goodbye from Lisa and Tom. At the airport, Aiko looked out at the Chicago skyline, her heart full. She'd come to America seeking adventure and found something greater, her own strength. Back in Osaka, she'd tell her grandfather about the girl who flipped a bully and changed a school. She'd left Westview braver, kinder, and stronger than she'd found it. What an incredible journey for Aiko. We hope you were inspired by her strength and heart. Drop a comment below and let us know where you're watching from: Chicago, California, Florida, or anywhere else in the country. We're dying to hear from you.